Are you for sale? What would you do for money? And how much money would it take for you to change your mind, to do something different with your life, to change your headspace? And it's a really important question in a world where social media influencing has become a very big business, and people are getting paid a lot of money to influence people, to convince people to buy certain products, to do certain things, to be involved in certain organisations. And it's an interesting thing at our house that Kayman and I chat about on a regular basis, and we often analyse and study, because we've been doing this a very long time, and I have a husband that is 30 plus times world champion in martial arts. He's also a health scientist with a master's degree in health science. He's been a world champion coach and sports strength conditioning specialist for elite athletes, world champions, Olympic athletes. So can you imagine how many people have approached him to be an influencer, to be a person who encourages and inspires people to invest money in certain products or services? And I say this a little bit sarcastically because at our house, there's two human beings that would rather die than do something for the money. And I say that very passionately about myself, and I'm married to a man who I know is exactly that person. So we are constantly bombarded with, please can you sell, please can you influence, please can you inspire people to use our product, spend money on our particular service, because people listen to you. And we always ask this question, and it's, for me, if you're listening to this and you've got a product or service that you think can add value to people's lives, I'm a passionate believer in product or service that makes people's lives better. If it helps people to be fitter, to be stronger, to be healthier, to have more fun, to feel more safe and secure, to be more financially free, to have better relationships, I love products and services like that. But you would never have to pay me to promote that product or service, because I would be passionately happy and excited to tell people that. It's one of the things I hate about marketing in any business. We often try and bribe people to bring people to the health club, or to tell people about our business in exercise, or, you know, if you bring your friends, we'll give you 1 week for free, or if you tell your friends how good we are, we'll buy you a bottle of wine, or if you bring 5 people to our business, we'll send you on a holiday. Well, see, to me, that's called bribing. That's just my personal opinion, because I don't need to be bribed. I'm an evangelist for somebody's business if that product or service offers value, makes people feel good, has great customer service. I'm the loudest. I've been accused a couple of times now, once from TripAdvisor and once from Google, because every single time I've posted a review, it's been a positive review. And they've contacted me personally to say, how come it's possible that every business you've been involved with, you've made a positive comment about it? And I always answer in exactly the same way. Why would I share a challenge or a problem with somebody that can't provide me with a solution? So I would never whinge, moan and complain ever, but I would never tell the world that I had a bad experience with a business, because I would go to the owner or the manager of that business to fix the challenge, not tell the World Wide Web about that challenge. So I'm very, very proud to share with the world I had a great experience in this business, and I would love you to go there too. I do not have to be asked to do that. I'm an evangelist. I do it with pleasure, and it's always an honor. So when people come to me and say, Rowie, could you please promote our product or service and we will pay you this? I would never do that, and I can't, because I don't want to take money for something that I would do for free. And I would never promote a product or service that I'm not proud of, or that I wouldn't put my name on, or I wouldn't give to my family or friends, which is a really interesting question that I always ask about any product. Do you use it? Would you inspire, excite, motivate, encourage the people that you love to use it? So not just your acquaintances and associates, but your partner, your family, your kids, the people that you really love, would you want them to use that product or service? So do you use it yourself? Would you inspire and excite and encourage other people to use that product or service? And here's the third question. Would you promote that for free, or do you need to be paid to do it? And please don't take away from this that I understand that there's a lot of money in marketing, there's a lot of money in being paid to market a product or service, but how I can't, promote or market a service that I don't believe in just for the money. Now, there's all sorts of names for that kind of behavior, and I don't want to talk about any of them. I'm just asking, you will be approached at some stage in your future, if you haven't been already, if you're successful at anything, if you're a sports person, and that's the interesting thing about K-Man, as he gets more chronologically older, he becomes more impressive. He's got more championships, and he's better at what he does. And of course, that creates interest, and people want to use that to say, K-Man, can you please promote our product for us? And how do you? It's an integrity question. It's an honesty question. I have to go to sleep at night and like who I am in my own bed. I have to look in my mirror in the morning and like who I am in the mirror. How do you promote or market a product that you aren't proud of? But you will be approached if you're good at sport, if you're good at music, if you're good at any form of the arts, if you're good at business, if you have an influence over any number of people. So if you have a social media platform that has a lot of followers, there will be people who come to you and say, here's $10,000 to market our product. Just of late, in this last 6 months, there's been a lot of that going on with social media influencers, where it's just been cash payments of $10,000, $50,000, $100,000. Please get in front of your audience and tell them to use this product or service. Now, that's one way of making money. I absolutely understand that, and I get that. It's and probably a very easy way to make money if you are a social media influencer. But I always ask this question: do you use that product yourself proudly? Could that be a really good fundamental question? Would you give it to your family and friends to use? There are a lot of supplements, medical, no, I won't call them, probably drugs, pharmaceutical interventions. There are lots of things that people suggest you put into your body, whether it's a water or a pill or a vitamin or some kind of protein bar or whatever. There's a whole heap of things that people recommend that you put into your body. And I always ask this question: are they eating that themselves? Are they drinking that themselves? Would they do that to themselves? And/or would they recommend it to their family, to their own children? So if you're going to eat this, do you want the people in your family to eat this? If you're going to drink this, do you recommend it for the people in your family to drink? If you're going to do this, do you recommend it for your family to do? So one of the big questions that I always ask is exercise professionals. If you are marketing yourself as an exercise professional and you're telling people that having a personal exercise coach is going to add value to their life, do you have one? Do you invest your own money into something that you're telling other people to do? And it's a really interesting question at this time in the world, because if you have money challenges, or if you need more money, and somebody comes and offers you a lot of money to promote something, would it be a complicated decision to make? And I'll use the extreme example. If somebody comes to you and says, will you market cigarettes, or will you market some kind of medical drug that would have an adverse effect on people? Would you recommend for children to drink alcohol? Would you recommend for children to watch certain websites or go to certain channels on social media? And we'll pay you a lot of money if you can influence people to do that. And what if you're the husband, you're the supplier of income to the family, you're the person who has to make sure that nobody goes hungry, and you've offered a large amount of money to do something that you don't believe in? What would you do then? And that's a really interesting question, because obviously self-survival becomes very important. I will give you the opposite to that. I know that I have a husband that if he was offered $1 billion to promote something that he didn't believe in, he wouldn't do it. And we've joked about this to the nth degree. So $1 billion wouldn't do it, which means $10 billion do it, which means $1 trillion wouldn't do it. So the next question was, what if somebody held a gun to your head, came in and said, if you don't promote this product or service, this dodgy exercise or this dangerous eating plan or whatever, we're going to kill you? And the answer is always the same. And I know he would rather die, because I'm exactly the same. I would rather die than tell somebody that the dodgy exercise is a good exercise to do. I just couldn't do that. It's just not who I am. But we took it a step further, as we do at our house. And the next question was, but K-Man, what if somebody held a gun to Rowie's head and said, we're going to kill Rowie if you don't promote this dodgy exercise or this dodgy eating or supplement plan or whatever? And he didn't hesitate, by the way. He just said, shoot her. And it's not that he doesn't love me dearly. The response to that, or the reason that is such a true statement, is he said, if Rowie lives and I then go and promote some dodgy exercise program or dodgy nutritional plan, she wouldn't want to be married to me anyway. She would have no respect for me, because we would both rather die than do something that we didn't believe in. Now, I'm not asking you to live your life the way that we do, of course not. But here's a great suggestion. What if you always ask yourself, when you're put in that position, would I do this for free? If they weren't paying me, would I still promote this product or service? If it's a small amount of money, and you wouldn't do it for a small amount of money, what's the amount of money that you would do it for? So they're offering me $10,000. I won't do it for 10 because that's not enough money. But what if they come and offer you $1 million or $1 billion? Would you do it then? If your family or your friends or the people that you care about, if you're the provider for your family and everyone's starving and somebody offered you $1 million to promote a dodgy product or a dodgy service, would you do it? And there's no judgment there. All I'm asking is this. If you do something one time that you're not proud of, could that be the start of a slippery slope? If you compromise your values one time, does it become easier to do it the second time? Does it become easier to do it the fifth time? Does it become easy to throw all your core values away? Which is why I always ask this question. What are your core values? What do you stand for? What do you stand for under pressure? If you're starving, if your house is about to be repossessed or your car's about to be repossessed, if you need to make money because one of your children is unwell, there's a whole heap of scenarios there that if I was put under pressure, would I negotiate my core values? And then the big one, what would you die for? If somebody held a gun to your head or a gun to somebody's head that you care about, would you negotiate your core values, your standards, because you wanted to keep somebody alive? And I don't want to sound dramatic. It's just really interesting that this has come up in our lives very of late, quite regularly and quite often, because social media influencing has become such a big deal. But and here's a great story. Sidney Poitier was a beautiful actor. He's died now. But he wanted to be an actor, and he was the first dark-skinned actor to win an Academy Award. He became an actor under some great challenges and discrimination, hassles, and it was really tough for him to make it in Hollywood. But he did. And it was interesting because he promised himself that he would never do a movie that his mother wouldn't be proud of him in, because his mother didn't quite understand the whole movie process. And the first movie that she saw him in, she didn't realize that he was acting, and she was the first one that he did, he wasn't proud of because his mother wasn't proud of him. Oh, that's not my son, he would never do that. Not realizing that it was a movie and he was acting in a movie. So after that movie, he said, I'm never going to act in a movie that my mother wouldn't be proud of and that my grandchildren wouldn't be proud of. So when it's up on the screen and my whole life or my whole family can see what I've done in my life, would I be proud of them to see that? So that comes to, would your grandchildren in 50 years' time or 20 years' time or however young or old you are, if they see you promoting a product or service, would you be proud for them to see you promote that product or service? Or whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis, are you proud of it? Would you recommend it for other people to use? Do you use it yourself? Would you do it for free? And I'll ask the question again. Ultimately, you have to look in your mirror and be proud of who you are, which is why I always ask that simple question, 5 words to describe who you are, and never negotiate that. Live and breathe that. It's a simple process. Who are you? 5 words to describe that, and then be that person. And as I always share, my words are tough and fair, positive, stylish, disciplined, and professional. I got an extra word on my thumb there. So tough and fair, positive, stylish, disciplined, and professional. So I've got 6 words, technically 5. And I don't have to make a decision anymore, because all I ask myself is this: what would a tough and fair, positive, stylish, disciplined, and professional person do? And I'll wrap that all up with this beautiful word called respect. If I respect myself, would I promote this product or service? If I respect the other people in my life, would I promote this product or service? And if I respect my environment, and there's a lot of products now that there's a lot of social media buzz about don't do business with that particular business because they don't look after the environment or they don't treat people well. There's a big, and I think this is a beautiful story where please have a look at the products that you're buying. The people that made that product, were they children? Were they forced to make that product? Are they in some kind of slave labor to make that product? And just be aware of that with the products or services that you buy. So whatever you're going to promote, are you proud of it? Do you use it? Would you recommend it to the people that you love? Would you promote and market it for free? And then that could be a reason to take on a contract that says we want you to market this product. And then perhaps think about how it will affect you in real life. Excuse me, this is a tough topic for me because we're dealing with it quite regularly now. If you promote a product or service on the internet, if you promote a product or service on television, if you're a social media influencer and people see you promoting a product or service, at some stage, somebody of the general public is going to come into your life, whether it's to your house or they're going to meet you in the street, and they're going to say to you, do you use that product? Are you proud of that product? I bought that product because of you. And that's something that's really hits home to me, because for me, it's about I'm often put in the position where I need to promote and market people. So it's somebody in my life who either has studied with us or has had something to do with us, been on our team, and then somebody else says, would you recommend for us to employ that person? Would you recommend for us to put that person on our team? Would you recommend that person to be involved in our business? And I have to put my name and my reputation on that person. And I consider it very carefully, because it always comes back to me. If I recommend somebody for a career position in a health club, in a gym, in a personal training studio, in a law office, in a doctor's office, and that person doesn't work out, guess who always gets the first call? Rowie, you recommended blah, blah, and they didn't turn out. Well, I think that could happen, and it does happen, of course, if somebody buys a product or service on your recommendation. They do something because you recommended for them to do it, and if it didn't work out, it ends up coming back on you. So would it be a great idea to be proud of everything that you do, everything that you promote? And if you're promoting it for free because you love it, could that come back to you in some very special ways that might not be measurable in dollar value in the bank, but maybe it could be measurable in dollar value in the bank? Because if you're doing what you're proud of, does it matter about the dollars in the bank? Could it be that you can sleep well at night because you know that you're a great person? Are you proud of everything that you do and everything that you promote and everything that you share with the world? And wouldn't the answer to that be, or should the answer to that be yes? And wouldn't that be awesome if it was? I do everything in my life based on who I am, my core values, what I stand for. This is what I stand for under pressure, and this is what I would die for, and I would never negotiate my core values. Wouldn't that be a special way to live your life?